Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's nice to see you all. We're going to wait a few minutes to let people have time to come in because our sessions are back to back today. So we need a couple of minutes of transition. My name is Jennifer. I am the community manager for ecomConnect, and I will be hosting this session with you today. I would love to know where you're connecting in from in the world. If you want to just say hi in the chat and let us know where you are, that would be wonderful before we start the session. I am located in Canada. Nisreen, hi Nisreen in Lebanon. It's nice to see you. We are going to have a really nice, inspirational TED-style talk with Monica Sharma that we're going to be listening to. Great, we have people coming in. Hi, Agustina. Hi, Lucy. Nice to see everybody. Feel free to use the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Hi, Lucy. We're going to get started in a few minutes, just letting people trickle in from the other sessions. Hi, Annie. Welcome. We're going to get started soon. It's nice to see everybody. I would also love to know in the chat if you have attended any other sessions today and how that has been going so far. We've got a lot of people coming in here. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Nice to see everyone. Welcome, welcome to the session. We are just waiting a few more minutes as people come in, and we're going to get our session started today on brand storytelling for e-commerce with Monica Sharma. We've got a lot of people coming in, so we're just those transitions between events always take a few minutes. Chris, are you able to keep admitting people while I start the session?
Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next session. Here we are going to play a video with very practical tips on how to improve your storytelling for brand awareness. So I let Jen manage this.
Yes, let's get started. So just to give you a little bit of background, Monica Sharma is an e-commerce business and brand strategist, and she is going to be talking to us about using brand storytelling to boost awareness and drive more sales in marketplaces. So we are going to get this started here. Great. Can everyone see my screen? We're good? Yeah? All right.
Hi, I'm Monica, an e-commerce brand mentor. Today, I'm talking all about how to leverage brand storytelling so that you can stand out with your conscious e-commerce brand on marketplaces. Because love them or hate them, you can't ignore them. According to Digital Commerce 360, in 2020, $2.67 trillion was spent globally on the top 100 online marketplaces, and several other marketplaces around the world grew nearly 100%. Statista even shows that in June 2021, Amazon.com had over 2.7 billion combined desktop and mobile visits. Etsy has 81.9 million active buyers in 2020. eBay had 159 million. The fact is that the marketplaces have given a platform to small businesses. And even though there is a lot to improve from an ethical, sustainable, and fair business point of view, it gives a huge opportunity to small conscious businesses around the world. Unlike having your own website, there's a consistent traffic coming to these marketplaces, which is great, right? Because you don't necessarily need to pay for ads to get traffic to your store. But also, unlike your own independent store online, you're directly competing with millions of other businesses for attention. When people are browsing through your products, the other recommendations can be of any other brand that exists with similar products. They're just a click away. So how do you, as a conscious small business owner, stand out from the crowd in an online marketplace? To start with, it is important to understand how people buy. Consider some big brands like Apple, Starbucks, and Lululemons. What separates these great brands and their founders from many of us? Just think about it. Do you really need an iPhone or the newest smartphone model? Is a Starbucks coffee taste that good that you're willing to pay double for that one down the road or a cup from home? Do those Lululemons fit that amazingly well and last that much longer that you pay more than $100 for a pair? Yet you keep going back. Purchase decisions, especially for higher priced products, lifestyle, even conscious brands are more wants than needs. They're driven by emotions and are often not an impulse purchase. Harvard professor Gerald Saltman has shown that 95% of purchase decisions are subconscious. What people really do, think, and feel often contradicts what they say. And no, they're not lying. They just don't realize themselves. As humans, we tend to explain our decisions, get logical. We decide with our heart and explain it using our brain. So what separates these great entrepreneurs from many of us? They were able to tap into the needs and desires of the audience. They understood that people don't buy products. They buy how it makes you feel. So how can you bring your brand to life in a way that it taps into your customers' feelings and truly connects with them? Use storytelling. Brand storytelling uses a narrative, so stories to connect your brand to customers. We use storytelling in marketing because 1, stories are memorable. 2, stories connect with people on an emotional level. 3, stories are unique. Your story will never be exactly the same as mine. And 4, it safeguards your brand. Someone may copy your product, but it's very difficult to copy the whole essence of your brand. So leveraging storytelling on marketplaces can help you stand out from all the other brands and products that exist there. Just think of it like adding a human element. Shift from just showcasing your product to bringing your brand to life. Here are 4 tips on how to do exactly this on a marketplace. So 1, create compelling product photos. In a marketplace, when you search for products, the first thing you see are the product photos. Use high quality photos and make them compelling enough to click. Apart from pure product photos, style them in a way that says something about your brand. 2, imagine each product page as a landing page. On marketplaces, most of the time, people will land directly to your product listing. Treat each of these product pages as a main page. Use it to tell a story about your product, brand, and how it adds value in their life. We call this benefit-driven copy. Think through the different types of benefits. Functional, what does the product do? Emotional, how does it make me feel? And transformational, how does it change my life? And then provide all the information your audience needs to make a purchase decision. 3, tell something about yourself. More and more marketplaces give you space to talk about and showcase your store. On Etsy, this may be the About Us section, whereas on Amazon, there's a main store landing page that acts somewhat as a homepage. Use this space to make it personal and tell your audience why they should buy from you. Who are you? Why do you do what you do? What is the benefit of buying your product and what makes you different? 4, take it offline. You have to send the packages to them, right? Use your packaging to continue the conversation. This is a moment that you have their attention without any distractions. They have to open the package. From packaging design to inserts that can tell them a little more about you, your brand, your values, what else you have to offer. And 5, continue the relationship beyond the marketplace. Invite them to follow you on your social media channel, and above all, get them on your email list or SMS list so that you can keep the conversation going. And remember, use stories. So what changes are you going to make to your product listings on marketplaces? Stop just selling products, tell stories, evoke feelings.
All right, everyone, we hope you enjoyed that session with Monica. She's definitely very inspiring and always very practical. I will put the link to her LinkedIn in the chat if anyone wants to go learn a little bit more about her work. And Christina, do you want to just tell us a bit about the next session that's coming up?
Yes, our next session is another e-commerce lab on what to expect on social media marketplaces. We're going to invite Barbara Rose-Gonyi, who is the founder and of a marketing company, which is called Corey West, and a social media expert. And this is happening in 3 minutes. So you can take a break now and we can wait for the next session to come. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, everyone, depending on where you are at. Welcome to this e-commerce lab. Today we are having with us Barbara Rose-Gondi, who is the founder of Corey West Media, which is a digital marketing agency, and she's also a social media expert. We are really excited about this workshop. It's going to be short, but it's going to be very practical. And Barbara is going to share with you a lot of great tips that we hope they are useful for your businesses. Also, you have the chat to ask any question you want to pose her. We will respond to them at the end. And if there is not enough time, we can always ask questions on ecomconnect.org. So thanks for joining, Barbara. Thanks for preparing this exciting presentation. And please feel free to ask questions. We want this to be dynamic. So we hope you enjoy this time. Thanks.
Hello, everyone from Charlotte, North Carolina. I am so excited to be here and take you to the e-commerce lab where we're going to learn what to expect on social media marketplaces. Hello, I am a second generation Hungarian, so I feel a strong connection to Hungary and Europe. And I just want to say hello in every language, and I'm so glad you're here. Well, to me, social media is really an international passport that can take you around the world with business, and you can go anywhere you want to at any time. This is a picture of me from Berlin, and I am here with, you can see Mario and Luigi by Brandenburg Gate. And the way I got there was through social media. There was a contest sponsored by Nokia and Social Media Week Berlin to find 2 people from the United States who were social media enthusiasts that could come to Berlin and really represent the US. All you had to do was submit 125 words. So I did. I thought, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, but I won the contest. So my first tip for you is when you see a chance, take it and just be open to all the different ways that social media can give you a passport to the world. So let's take a quick poll. If you want to tell me in chat, what business are you in? Are you in agribusiness, fashion, handmade products, tech, or something else? So if you want to just take a minute and drop it in, tourism, agribusiness, fashion, handmade, tech, or tourism. Let's see what we have here. Oh, okay, great. We've got handmade, tourism, agribusiness, lots of different things. Fashion. Wow, this is so cool. It's very exciting. So let's get going. And what our game plan is for today is we're going to talk about 4 things very quickly. We're going to go through the top trends you need to know right now, a 4D framework that will help you really strategize your social media, the best practices you need for your marketplace and shops, and how will you get the traffic from social media back to your shop. And just stay tuned and relax, enjoy. As ideas come to you, write them down, and just know that you are going to get the link to a passport to a social media marketplace, a success guide. So what you see here in the presentation will be in the guide, and you'll also get a list of resources to help you grow your business even more after our time together. So what are the trends? As a futurist, I absolutely love trends. I always want to know what's coming next, and I want to tell everyone about it. Sometimes people aren't quite ready to hear, like when I started teaching social media and video, well, actually not social media, but video marketing back in 2005. People looked at me like, what are you talking about? There's no such thing. Well, there is today, and we all know that. So the 3 trends I picked out for you are growth, search, and social. So let's dive right in. This statistic shocked me. And one of the things I love about presentations is looking for really cool stats. So who would have thought that the US e-commerce penetration percentage would be 10 years growth in 3 months' time? 3 months, we grew 10 years. The pandemic really, really fueled innovation, creativity, and it drove shoppers from offline to online. Now, you might be wondering, well, how does that really impact what happened in my part of the world? Well, here is a look by region, and we can see that e-commerce grew in 2020 all around the world by about an average about 20% or so. And then when we look at search, mobile users are 3 times more likely to use voice search. Voice search is really big right now, and you'll see a link in your guide to what's happening with Google. Google is doing something with image search. Their new search is called MUM, M-U-M, that's the acronym. It came out last week. So Chris, I think it's really, when you asked me if I do with this presentation, I said, sure. I had no idea that there were going to be so many announcements last week about what's happening with search, social media, and then what happens with voice commerce. Take a look at this. In the US alone, voice commerce is expected to exceed $40 billion by 2022, which is a few months away. So voice commerce, voice search, really, really exciting. And how about TikTok? TikTok just celebrated 1 billion visitors, 1 billion views. It just is incredible how much TikTok has exploded. They have had an arrangement for shopping with Shopify, and last week, they blew the doors off of e-commerce for TikTok. So stay tuned because they have just opened TikTok World. It says, welcome, join the fun. And you're going to be able to really do a lot more with e-commerce on TikTok. Now, why is TikTok so cool? I asked myself that, and it's not because of people dancing. Well, maybe it is, and I love those funny animal videos. And let's face it, it's pretty entertaining to watch TikTok. And the reason is our brains absolutely love TikTok. Our brains love it. And brains love images. Brains can process images 60,000 times faster than text. Really, really fast. And I think that's really kind of what's fueled the explosion of TikTok and video in general. This is, of course, from TikTok. And what they're seeing is in a cross-platform comparison across 5 dimensions of consumers' neural responses to content, TikTok can increase your approach by 44% and your engagement by 15%. So TikTok is a great place to think about how you can really get interactive engagement. We'll talk more about tips for that later. And you might be wondering, well, that's great. What else can TikTok do? It turns out quite a bit. And when I look at trends, I like to look at really big brands, global brands, because what's happening there is going to trickle down everywhere. And when we look at what happened with McDonald's, when they worked with a TikTok influencer, they said, hey, can you give us a new name and a new logo? And the TikTok influencer, Emily, said, of course. So she renamed McDonald's McDodes. McDodes, that's pretty cool, huh? And only the O is capitalized. So when McDonald's put this new profile picture up on Facebook, they got 140,000 likes, maybe 144,000 now, 25,000 shares. And that was last week as well. So the social media director says the time TikTok was for teens only is long gone. So it's a cross-platform tool as well. And if you're thinking, wow, I really love e-commerce, this is a fantastic program that the International Trade Center has put together. I mean, you can learn so much here. And if you're thinking, I really want to expand and explore, you're in luck. Amazon is having Accelerate. That's coming up. You'll have the link in the checklist to this one, as well as to Shopify's Commerce Plus, which is coming up next week. So if you're looking for trends and what's new, I love going to conferences like this. You don't have to go to every session, but pull out what you're really interested in so that you can expand your knowledge, because this world is moving so fast that you really need to stay in pace with it and in touch with what's going on as much as you can. So we did talk about the trends, we talked about the growth, and we talked about search, and we talked about social. Now you might be thinking, well, that's all well and good, but how do I really formulate what I want to do? Monica just did a great presentation on brand storytelling. I love everything she had to say. And so that's a really good thing to keep in mind is, what is my brand story? And what I like to do is I like to think of marketing as kind of like the 4 winds, 4 different directions. And the directions are digital profiles, direct connections, dynamic content, and then data driven. I wish I could go through all these in great detail, but we're just going to touch on them because we have so much to cover. So with digital, think about your digital DNA. It's your profiles and your stores. It's your personal profile, everything in your store. So wherever people can find you, that is really your digital DNA. It's something you really need to be aware of. You want to expand it, and you want to be in the places where your customers are looking for you. The next part is your direct customer's journey. And what we want to think about are the different stages that customers go through to find you. We're only going to focus on awareness today, but the next one would be consideration. So who was your competition? Who do they compare you to? How do they make their purchase? Is it easy for them to do? Do you get a lot of returns? I mean, are there things you need to fix with purchase? And then a really big one is review. So you want to get really good reviews. So like I said, we'll only focus on awareness today, which is how do they find you in the first place? And one of those places is your website. Now, I know we're really talking about marketplaces and social media. That's really our focus. We do want to remember that having a website is important. That's what people are going to come back to. And the case study I've chosen is Good Karma Ranch. I actually have one of their shawls here, and it's a alpaca ranch that's close to my house. They have a website, and they also on their website, which I love, they say, choose your experience. And right now, marketing is all about the customer experience. So when you come to their website, you can choose to look at tours, yoga, and other events. You can go shopping, or if you're an alpaca owner, you can connect with them on that level. So really think about your website and your customer experience. The next D is dynamic content. 3 things to keep in mind: consistency, clarity, and connections. Consistency is really, really important for a couple of reasons. One, to keep you in the flow, and so that you know what you're going to be doing on a very consistent basis. You want to make sure that if you're going to be doing like an IGTV program, you do it at the same time every week. Are people going to watch it at the same time? Probably not, but you have it in your schedule and you're committed to producing something at that exact time. You know who does love consistency? Algorithms. So if you're doing something at the same time every week, the algorithms are going to go, wow, they're doing this every week. That's so cool. So be consistent. Then be clear, have clarity. Think about what kinds of questions do people ask you? What do they need to know? A lot of times, you'll see a product or service and there's really not enough clarity. Or even if it's like tourism, maybe you have a really great destination and you really need to be a little bit clear. Some of the things you take for granted, other people might be really interested to know about. And the last part is connections. So understand that every time you post a piece of content or you share or you like, that's really building that connection a little bit closer. So content can be a way to really connect you with people on their way to your shop to become a customer. Also keep in mind, dynamic content is yours, mine, and ours. So you might be thinking, oh, it's so hard to do all this content. And it is a lot to manage. I know it really is. But what you can do is you can look at ours and you can really see what's happening in your industry. Maybe you've got influencers or customers, maybe you've got reviews you can share. So look around to see what people are talking about and then use that in your content as well. The last part is data. And as a marketer, I just love marketing because we've got creativity, we've got art, we've got images, we've got so many different things. We've got science and math. We've got results. And some people can just focus on marketing and think, oh, it's all about math and money. And you can look at it that way. I really feel like the data, though, is where the real richness of marketing is, because it's kind of like your report card. It tells you, keep doing this, don't do that. So the first part about data is, what do you measure? And oh my gosh, you have to decide. There are so many things. It can be the number of people that sign up for your email list. It can be the number of people who used a coupon code. It can be likes. Likes are okay, but that's really not going to take you down the trail to what makes a sale. So I want you to really think about what data points you're going to measure. And once you have those in mind, it will really free you up. And there's an acronym for these called KPI, key performance indicators. So really think about what you want to focus on, and what you measure, you can grow. It could even be something as simple as, I'm going to see which products sell the best. Now, that was a lot to cover: digital, direct, dynamic, and data. And now we're going to go into best practices for Facebook Marketplace and Instagram shopping, the 2 big ones. There are some uniform best practices that you can use for both of these. And actually, you could probably use these for all of your shops, but let's just focus on them. The first one is to have good search keywords. And when you have a keyword collection, I want you to think about not just the words you're going to use, but also the hashtags you're going to use. And the keywords are going to be the words that people use to find your product. So, or your service, or your location, or your destination. So what you need to do is have a collection of keywords that you use over and over again. You want to do some research and see which ones are the ones that people are using. Which ones are people using to find you? Because you want to have a direct match. So you want to have search keywords, and you're going to have in your guide some resources for keywords. For example, Etsy is really, really big on keywords, and you'll have a link on how to really dig into that and really elevate your keyword game. The next thing is a detailed description. And with the description, sometimes you have so much room that you can fill in and you can add so many different things. So with your detailed description, you could even add in a couple of Q&As, like if you frequently asked questions, maybe even like how long does it take the product to ship? Think about what are the questions people would have in their minds. And in the description, if you want to, you could even include your link or your socials. That might be a little bit out there, but just think about how much people need to know. The next is pro images. And if you have one of these, a cell phone, you are a professional photographer. Congratulations. You don't really need to invest in a ton of equipment. If you do web video, then I certainly would have a nice webcam. I have a Logitech webcam right now that I'm using, and it gives you a really good image for that. But think about pro images. And if you're looking for a way to really edit your images or have better graphics, you can use a tool called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. And the last part is communicate. Understand that people really want to be in touch. So think about that buyer's journey. How do you communicate with them in the awareness level, consideration, purchase, and review? And I think Monica mentioned when you send products out to add a message. And I know I have people that are friends that order so much stuff online, and when they get a little note or even a sticker, it's so exciting, so make sure you communicate and just bring that connection as close as you can. So now let's look at a best example case study. This is the Good Karma Ranch, the alpacas. And when I searched for Good Karma Ranch on Facebook, their shop came up. It also gives you a way to look at posts, people, groups, photos, videos. So Facebook has a really good search mechanism. You might even want to search your shop to see what comes up. When I searched, guess what? My photos of me with the alpacas came up. So that was kind of fun. And that's a good example of how user-generated content can really promote you. The next thing is Facebook offers collections. So for instance, for them, they have yarn, other fun things. So you can actually add collections. And this is what I really, really love is subscription. So let's stay connected. This is really a way to grow your email list. And it's great to be connected on social, but if you have special offers and you really want people to stay in touch with your store, you're going to want to have an email offer. This one offers you 15% for your first order. So if you have an incentive like that, you're likely to have more people get enrolled. So now let's look at the customer center. And this is a photo. This is the dryer balls. And this is a dryer ball. If you're wondering, you throw them in your dryer instead of a dryer sheet. Here in the US, people really love them, takes out static, all that stuff. But anyway, what you can see is in the customer center, you can look at sending a message, continue shopping, look at your payments and orders, and you can read about the shop. Here's their Facebook page. There's the family. There's Shelly and Mike and their dog Murphy and one of their alpacas. And you can read more about the company there. And then with Messenger, you can set up automatic replies with Messenger on Facebook, so you don't have to be in front of your computer or your phone 100 hours every week or even every minute. It will let you know. So anyway, it's good to have Messenger enacted. This is an example of Instagram. This is their Instagram page. And with Instagram, you can see they use emojis here. People love emojis in Instagram profiles. It's just a fun thing and you can read right through. Also, they're using Linktree. If you use a link system like this, a link app, then it will allow people to look at more than one link. So you can have your store, you can go to destinations, all kinds of things. And then these are highlights. So these little highlight reels are like mini movies. They're like mini videos that people can look at, and it really gives them an idea of what you've got to offer. And if you can see this little circle around their logo, that means that they do have a story to be viewed. So Instagram offers you an opportunity to do posts, reels, Instagram TV, IGTV, And then you can also do stories and highlights. There's just so many different things to do with Instagram. For best practices, really think video and really think about how you're going to organize it. So really organize it into what people want to see. You can also even think about your Instagram profile if you want to have a grid. And then this is an example. If you look at how to design your Instagram or your social media posts, this was done in Canva. Again, that's Canva, and you can see it looks like an ad out of a magazine. It's a really nice post. This is another example of Instagram. This is a shop. It's kind of like an online mall with a lot of different shops from Central America. And you can see they also have a link app that will send people to a site that has all the shops. And what they've done is they've done takeovers, which is really a cool concept. So you can invite another peer if you have maybe another company within or another shop within your country or your locale, and you can take over and exchange to really grow your audience and get more visibility. You might be thinking, well, geez, I want to know even more. So in your guide, you're going to have links on how to really increase your business on each one of these sites. And here's an example. This is Instagram. They give you ideas on how to get your shop ready for the holiday season. And it's time to start thinking about that now if you haven't already. And if you're thinking, well, I really would like more of a strategy, Instagram's got you. All you have to do is go there and click through this survey and they will come up with a strategy for you. So those are best practices. Now, the last part of the presentation is to talk about how to drive traffic from social media to your shop. And shop tips. We've talked about Facebook and we talked about Instagram. Let's talk for a minute about Amazon, eBay, and Etsy. Amazon is really incredible. I've seen people who have done live shows where they recommend products. I mean, I've seen all different ways of selling on Amazon. It's a world of opportunity. eBay is great, of course. You can have an entire, almost like a huge brick and mortar shop on eBay, all the way down to just selling item by item. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. And Etsy is perfect if you have handmade artful items. It's really a wonderful place to sell those because people are looking for something unique and different that really reflects their personality. So what are some tips? Back to keywords again. Think about your keyword collection. What are you going to use? And really think about the product keywords here. The link, make sure that people know how to get to your website to buy. And when I asked Good Karma Ranch what was their biggest tip, they said, have a call to action because people are just so busy. And I don't know if you're like me, but I know I'm shopping, but I don't really know if I'm shopping. And if something says buy now or really says imagine wearing this or imagine going here, the next thing you know, click here to buy, whoop, that you're buying, which is fantastic because that's something you want. And it's if you ask to subscribe, really think about what you want people to do, because if you make them think, they probably won't. So really think about what's the call to action. And then again, be responsive. I was thinking about a brick and mortar store I walked into once, and it was really beautiful. I was in there probably, I guess, 15 or 20 minutes. And the only thing the owner said to me was when I walked out, have a nice day. Thanks for coming in. And when I walked in, they should have said, hey, we're really glad to see you. What can I do for you? So if there's a way you can really be responsive all along the journey, do it. So now we're going to jump right into different tips for each one of these platforms. And with Facebook, I want you to really get your page up and where it needs to be, keep it current, feature your products, interact with other folks, and then join groups. So for example, if you sell yarn, look at knitting groups and you can join them. The tip here is befriend the group owner. So reach out to them. And if you have a special coupon code for everyone in the group, messenger them and say, hey, I really like your group and we have some products we'd like to offer you a special discount for you only. And if they say yes, they'll promote you to their group and you'll get some good sales. And then the next thing is Messenger. Remember to really look at Messenger, your options, and make sure you have it set up to have auto replies. Now, Instagram. Instagram is the home of hashtags. You can use hashtags throughout the internet. Instagram really kicked it off. And with Instagram, if you're wondering what hashtags are good to use, you can always do a search for hashtags. You probably don't want to use the ones that are overused, but look at which ones bring you the most traffic. And with all of these, check your insights to see what's really, really working well. Instagram also offers video via Reels, Stories, and Instagram TV. And backing up to Facebook for just a second, Facebook announced Reels last week. So you can do Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels, Facebook Stories, Instagram Stories. Instagram TV is not available on Facebook yet, but it may be. They're almost like twins, you know, they're doing a lot of things together. So really think about a video strategy for Instagram. Pinterest, visual storytelling. Everything on Pinterest it's like looking at a gorgeous catalog. You know, the pins are all vertical, they're bright, they're just really engaging. They want you to save them and share them. They're just beautiful. So you want to have gorgeous visual storytelling, and you want to include your brand logo or your website on those pins. It can be something that's very subtle, but you want people to know where it came from. And here's an example of how Pinterest can work for you. This is Good Karma Ranch. They have 21 followers and only 4 people following them. That's not very many, but they get 69,000 monthly views, 69,000. So it's astounding what Pinterest can do. And if you are an Etsy shop owner, if you tie these two together, that's going to be really, really good for you. So Pinterest is an amazing place to be if you have visual products. TikTok. TikTok is the home of trends and influencers. So if you're wondering what's trending, go over to TikTok. Like for instance, hashtag game plan was trending. So I called this the game plan. It also is a place where you can find influencers. You may be an influencer yourself, but let's say you sell hats and you're like, I need a TikTok about hats. There's actually a creator directory of influencers on TikTok now. You can look and find someone who can sell your hats for you. Or you can just, if you like somebody's TikTok, reach out to them and say, hey, can you make some for me? Will it cost some money? Yeah, probably. Can you do better than they can? If you can, do it. If not, and you want to be part of their audience, why not? You know, so TikTok is something to watch. And I really feel like TikTok is going to change. It already has, but it's really going to keep evolving and changing the way we communicate and the way we do business. Last one, YouTube. YouTube is a fantastic search engine. You probably know that, but did you know that the best way to get YouTube traffic is to ask a question in your title? And if you're wondering, what kind of question would I ask? You can go to Answer the Public and type in a topic or a question, and you can see what kinds of questions people are asking. So when you ask that question, what happens is, and it's in the title and people do a search, your video pops up. And another thing to keep in mind with YouTube is the description. How many YouTubes have you seen that have one sentence? No. Fill it up, fill it up. You can even put your owner bio in if you want to do that. You can put links to your sites. They're not probably going to be live, but you can put everything in. Yes, they are going to be live. They are going to be live. So you can put so many different things in that you want to. So really, really take YouTube and really make the most of it as you can. And if you have channels for your products, that's really wonderful. You can also do interviews, shows. There's just so much you can do in social media. So here is our social media marketplaces game plan. We talked about trends, framework, best practices, and traffic. So I just want to thank you so much for your time and attention today. And that is me with one of the alpacas. And please connect with me on social media. I love talking to people. I love answering questions. And I am just going to turn it back over to Chris and see if we can answer some questions now.
Thanks a lot, Barbara. And thanks everyone for listening. Barbara, she put together a social media guide for marketplaces that we will share on ecomConnect.org after the event. So you can have access to it, to some tips and resources. And just a quick question before closing, because we will have to move to the next event. We have a question from the audience, which is, what tip would you give to a small business to find where the audience is on a specific social media?
So the question is, what tip would I give you to find the specific audience on social media?
Yeah.
Well, what I would do is I would look at, you want to find out where they are right now. So I would look at companion interests. So for instance, if we look at the alpacas, then I would look locally and see who are the influencers locally. I'd look at what hashtags are being used there. And I would also look at the demographics. So if you have a really young, funky kind of audience, a really fun audience, probably TikTok is where you want to be. If you have an audience and you have handcrafted goods, then Etsy is perfect for you. But I think sometimes it's an experiment too. You really, and look at who your buyers are. So look at your buyer profile and match your buyer to where they are in social media, and just, do some research and just experiment.
Great, thanks. Yeah, exactly. That's key, experimenting. Okay, Barbara, thanks so much for this session. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Barbara through ecomConnect or her LinkedIn that we share in the chat. And now, thanks, Barbara.
Bye-bye.
Hope to see you soon. And now we're going to go to the next session, which is the e-commerce tools lab, where we are going to have Judith Jubercher, who is joining from the ecomConnect team at the International Trade Center. And she's going to guide us through a set of free tools that are available on ecomconnect.org. So all yours, Judith.
Thanks. Thank you, Chris. And hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. I think we have 54 participants right now. Maybe before we start, so that you can see if it's interesting for you to stay in the session or not, what we will see is basically all the different tools that our team at ITC, the ecomConnect team, has put together. They're free tools and they're available to you once you log on the platform. Some are also available on the public page, so you don't even have to have a profile on ecomconnect.org. But this is what this session is about. And if you already know all our tools, then maybe you just enjoy a nice coffee and go for a walk. Otherwise, please stay and discover with us our tools. I will do a live demo. I don't have a presentation. So let's share the screen. Right. Can you see my screen, Chris?
It's loading. Let's wait for a sec. Yeah, there, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So for those that are not yet members of our community platform, let me introduce to you the backbone of also the ecomConnect days. It's our platform, ecomconnect.org. What you see here right now, it's our public page. So if you don't have a profile yet, if you're not yet member of the platform, this is what you see when you type in ecomconnect.org. The platform, for those that don't know it yet, it's a community platform which allows you to network with other e-commerce entrepreneurs, join events and workshops. We host a number of workshops on e-commerce related topics that are organized by experts, industry leaders, and of course, probably the most interesting and important are all the free learning resources that we make available on the platform. So this is how it looks like from the outside. And I suggest we log in together and take a look at the platform so that you know what to expect once you create your profile. So once you create your profile and you log in, you can see everything which is inside the platform, starting with the news feed. That's basically our main wall where we share news, updates, where you can share your location. You can inform the community about events that you host or you heard of, and you can comment on others' posts. You can share articles, and you can also have a quick overview of our most active users and upcoming events. So this is really the key place to network on the platform. Then let's move on. The events tab, that's basically where you will find all the different events that we host, but not only events organized by ecomConnect, also events that are organized by community members. And of course, you can register for these different events through our platform. The members tab, that's where you will have access to our map with all the community members, where you can basically identify other entrepreneurs in your region, and you can then also reach out to them directly through private message, or you just share whatever you want to share on the news feed. And you can search by location or by keyword if you're interested in a specific profile. Maybe you're looking for a web developer, then you might want to search for web developer with a keyword. The learning tab, this is, we have sub tabs, the articles and guides. That's just a collection of different articles and guides, so organized by topic. So we have different categories, as you can see here on the left. We have topics that are specialized by region or by theme. So we, for example, if you're particularly interested in digital marketing, you could use the category digital marketing, and then it will give you the articles that are related to the topic. And you can, once you click on them, you can read here, or you can also download the article by PDF as a PDF file. Tools, this is also a core page of the platform, and I will explain to you these tools in a minute. These are the tools that we built, our team, but we have a number of interesting other tools of third parties here as well that are organized by topic, like marketing and market intelligence tools. These are tools developed by the ITC as well. Some Google tools, analytics tools, Google Analytics, of course, and just take a look around, see what you're interested. If you want to do keyword research for your online business, you might want to see what selection we present here. It's a good selection of tools that help you with your keyword research. So check it out and see if there are interesting tools that you want to try out. And then video tutorials here, again, organized by topic. If you're particularly interested in digital marketing, we have a number of video tutorials that are free. They will direct you to YouTube, where you can learn about different social media channels, for example, a bit similar to what we just heard in the presentation before, email marketing. So a number of different tactics that might be of interest for you in your business. Then we have the Connect tab. That's basically where you can collaborate with others. If you have business opportunities that you want to share with the community, you can do it through this tab. And you can also create a profile for your company. And that's how potential buyers might find you through our platform. So make sure that once you log in, you don't only create your personal profile, but also your business profile. And then we have private groups. That's by topic. Like if you're interested in one of these topics, then you can join. Some are also related to projects. In this case, you would only have access if you're part of the project. So that's the platform. And now let's move on to the tools. So this is our e-commerce readiness quiz. It's very intuitive, easy to use. And what it does, it just gives you a first idea of where you're at in the e-commerce journey. So it will tell you basically whether you're at the very beginning, whether you're a newcomer, or whether you have an intermediate level already, or whether you're an expert. And what we do in this quiz, we walk you through a number of questions that are related to different topics that are relevant for an e-commerce, starting with planning. So we have a number of questions that give us an idea of like how far you got with your planning for your e-commerce. Then we have a section on online presence where we ask questions about whether you have a website or a marketplace store, and how you manage your website, whether you take care of the content, whether it's optimized for search engines, etc. Then we have a section on digital marketing. So assuming you have an online presence, a sales channel for your e-commerce, what digital marketing tactics are you using to drive traffic to your online channel? So this is what we ask here in this section. As you can see here, I pretend to be the expert. So I answer yes to all questions. Then the next section is on shipping and inventory. So we want to find out whether you have not only thought about shipping and inventory, but whether you actually have mechanisms and tools in place that help you with this. And after that, we ask about customer service, whether you have someone who's managing who's providing customer service, how you provide customer service, how fast you are in handling customer inquiries, and also whether you measure customer satisfaction. And at the end, you will get the results page. So here, as you can see, I'm the expert on all the different topics, and it gives you a good idea of what you can still improve. We give you some guidance, what you could look at in the different topics, depending on the answers to these questions. And of course, you can export this to PDF and share maybe with your colleague. The next one, that's our cost calculator. Oops. So this is the cost calculator, and what it does, it helps you identify the costs linked to selling online based on different platforms. At the moment, we integrated a number of marketplaces and a tab for a web shop if you create your own e-commerce site. We have Amazon, eBay, Etsy, and then we also have a tab to calculate the fees that are charged by PayPal. As you might know, it's not always easy to anticipate all the fees that are charged by different marketplaces or e-commerce platforms. And it's really hard sometimes to have an idea of, okay, what price should I charge in order to make a profit? And we try to make this easier for you with a tool. For example, we can do a little test here with Etsy. Marketplace Etsy, specialized in handicrafts. So we walk you through a number of fields, and once you've filled these fields in, you will have an idea of the margin you make if you sell your product at a certain price. So we can do it together just to give you a better idea. If we would charge, or let's say our product price is 40, we charge the customer 10 for shipping. At the moment, we just want to make the calculation for one product. And we say that the cost to produce this product is 20, and the actual shipping costs are 15, for example, because we absorb some of the shipping cost in the product price. That's why here I didn't put the same shipping charge as shipping cost. In this case, Etsy doesn't charge a subscription, so that's why we can leave this empty. And here we already integrated the Etsy payments and the fees related to Etsy payments. So you will have here on the right the result. So if you sell one product that costs you this at $40 plus 10 shipping, so at $50 in total, you would make you have a sales margin of around $10. And you can play around with this. You can then increase the product price and the quantity, of course. So you can create different scenarios for you. And you can do the same then for other sales channels. The web shop is slightly different to the marketplaces, of course, because we have more elements that we are looking at, not only the fees charged by the marketplace. There are also things like domain name that you need to take into account, hosting, and some like Shopify, for example, they also have a monthly subscription. What's important when you use this tool to keep into account is that whenever you do this calculation for several products, make sure that this is for the same type of product, the same that has the same cost, and you sell it at the same price, because otherwise the subscription costs, for example, they would then be divided by the product. And if you have like more expensive product, less expensive product, then the scenario is not really working. So make sure that if you want to do it for several products, you just do it for like one type of product, and then you can just recreate scenarios and do the calculation several times for the different products that you offer. Maybe to a little announcement, we will integrate Shopify as well in this tool, so that you can have immediately the scenario, not only with Shopify subscription costs, but also the transaction costs they charge. And then you can have an idea of what price you would need to charge on Shopify to make profit. Right, so that's the cost calculator. At the end, we have time for questions, of course, but I just want to present all tools, so I ran through it a bit quickly. Here, maybe just one last thing. At the end, you can compare the scenarios for the different channels. So if you're about to start selecting a marketplace and you're hesitating whether eBay or Etsy is right, then it's a perfect tool to compare the fees charged by those platforms and where you could potentially make more profit. Of course, then you need to take into account also like what's the purchase power of the buyers on these different platforms. So you might not make the same amount of money on Etsy than on Amazon, but it gives you a first good idea of the fees cost. And then I would like to present to you one of our latest tools that we are actually launching today during the ecomConnect days. It's the online payment solution finder. If you are e-commerce business owners, you might know how difficult it is to identify a right payment solution, especially if you're based in a developing country, because often providers like PayPal or Stripe, they're not available to business owners in some, for example, African countries, Latin American countries, Asian countries. And it's really hard to find the right payment solution provider based on your location and also on your e-commerce platform that you want to use. So let's say you're using Shopify and you're based in Nigeria, you want to know which payment solution can I integrate with, right? And we can do this scenario. Let's say we're in Latin America, we're in Brazil, for example, and we want to know what payment solutions we can use as a Brazilian merchant. We apply the filters. We'll have the list of payment solutions. So you see, for instance, for Brazilian online sellers, we can integrate with PayPal, Stripe, Payoneer to checkout, PayUp, Mercado Pago, PagoSeguro, WeChat Pay, Skrill, Paysera, and Rapid. If you want to find out more about these payment providers, for example, whether they can integrate with your platform, you just click on Show More, and you have a number of information also about like what type of payment methods you can accept through these payment providers, and just a bit more like background information on the payment provider and the platforms they integrate with. What's important to mention is that this list is, of course, not exhaustive. Like it's a good first selection of payment providers worldwide, but what we would really like you to do once you start using this tool, that wherever you're based and you see that we're missing payment solutions on this tool, then you let us know. So you can reach out to ecomConnect@intersen.org. And we also put here a little pop-up window. Please let us know, give us your feedback. If you have additional payment providers that you can share with us, we will integrate them in our platform. If you want to see all the payment providers that we have currently on the platform, the list is long, then you just click on all. And you can also search by payment provider. You can, if you're interested in one that you already heard of, then just search by it here and it will give you the result. So we are almost at the end of the presentation. Maybe just a sneak peek into a kind of, it's not really a tool, it's more like a market, not a marketplace, it's not transactional. We call it market, the ecomConnect market. And this is linked to the projects we run at the International Trade Center. As you know, we work with many e-commerce, small and medium-sized e-commerce businesses around the world in projects, and we train them on how to sell their products online. We walk them through the entire e-commerce journey, and then the best ones that basically go through all our training and coaching, they will be featured here on the platform. And this is more now when, if you want to be a shopper and not the seller, then come join us here on the market and have a look at these nice companies, and maybe you want to buy from them. If you want to buy from them, you just click on the companies, you can read a bit about their story, and then you can buy directly from their shops and marketplace stores that they build together with us. So that's all from my side. Now I think we can open up for questions, Chris.
Yes, do you have any question? So far there has not been any question in the chat, but you can also unmute yourself and ask a question if you want to.
I'll just say that John just said, great presentation by Judith, would make a great promotional video. Good presentation.
Yeah, we're really happy to launch this last tool, the Payment Solution Finder, which is already available on ecomConnect. So if you want to start using it, exploring the different tools available for your business, just go to the Tools tab and you will be able to find it there. So
and join ecomConnect.org and explore all the tools.
And as they say sometimes in commercial circles, if you like it, tell your friends. If you don't like it, tell us.
Right.
Good point. Yeah. We also just were very excited because we just had a brand new redesign of the platform. So nice, fresh, new energy in there. And yeah, we would love to have everyone.
Cool. So I think if there are no questions, we will close this session and we will wait for the next one where we are going to have some entertainment, let's say. So we are just going to have some nice music to end up this first day of ecomConnect. And we are looking forward to see you tomorrow because we have another debate on tech, on the impact on technology and marketplaces, and a few other workshops and live interviews as well. So
yeah.
Happy to see you tomorrow.
We have a quick question from Adana asking about the recording. So we are going to share the recordings of the sessions in ecomConnect right after?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the platform.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Judith.
Thanks, Chris.
So we'll just wait a few minutes. In about 5 minutes, we're going to start the entertainment, which is going to be a beautiful concert by Vivian Yang, who is an Eru soloist. Yeah, it's a very magical performance. So that will be starting in just a few minutes. Feel free to go get something nice to drink as you relax and just enjoy this performance as we end the day. Okay, everyone, so we are going to get this beautiful performance started by Vivian Yang Lee. She's an Eru soloist, so it's kind of like a violin instrument that she plays. She is from China, living in Montreal, and I'm going to get this started for us. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. It was really nice to have you all here today. We're just going to take a moment to close the session. I'm just going to read the chat here quickly. Okay, everything is good. Chris, would you like to close things off for us?
Yeah, I give the floor to James to close the day, and we invite you to join tomorrow for more workshops and debates.
Well, there you go. Thank you to those who stayed on board until the end. Yeah, interesting and varied. And we've got an interesting and varied program for you as well tomorrow. We will be sharing these materials. So ecomConnect platform is the place to go to see the videos, access a lot of this information in case you were wondering. And, if there are any outstanding questions, drop them to us. We'll find a way of getting you answers. So that's all for me for this evening. Thanks for staying. Thanks to Jennifer. Thanks to Chris for organizing this. Have a good evening.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.